2, 3, 4, 1, 2, go. In a many-colored garden, we are growing side by side. We will rise all together, we will rise. With the sun and rain upon us, not a rose shall be denied. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. In our many-colored fabrics made from strands of common thread, we will rise all together, we will rise. 1, 2, 3. We can feed our grain to cattle, so the rich ones will be fed. We will rise all together, we will rise. Or we'll feed our grain to people, so that millions will have bread. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. No more will there be hunger in these strands of common thread. We will rise all together, we will rise. 1, 2, go. In the cold of fear and hatred, clothed with dignity we stand. We will rise all together, we will rise. We have pieces quilt together, linking hearts with stitching hands. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. We are spirits drawn together, tightly by our common threads. We will rise all together, we will rise. 1, 2, go. From our children to our elders, from all nations we will rise. We will rise all together, we will rise. May respect for all our differences enhance our common ties. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will build a global family strengthened by our common threads. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will rise like the ocean. We will rise like the ocean, we will rise like the sun. We will rise all together, we will rise. We will build a global family strengthened by our common threads. We will rise all together, we will rise. Welcome to Church in Ocean Park, and to get even some more welcome, thank you very much. Waverly is going to do our welcome, and I believe Waverly is zooming in.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Waverly. We are members of the Church and Park, and we are here to welcome you here this morning. You may be wondering if you're actually welcome. We are interfaith, so you're welcome if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, atheist, or some combination or something else altogether. We welcome you if you are single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, or however you identify. We welcome you if you are affluent, swimming in dough, or penny pinching just to get by. We don't care if you worship the Lord or watch Lord of the Rings. If you have a full head of hair or polished bald head. We welcome you if you have OCD or anxiety, if you drive cars or ride buses. We welcome you offbeat or funky, even skinny or chunky. We welcome you patient pals or calming companions. We welcome Jameson whiskey loyal drinkers and Tennessee whiskey karaoke singers. We welcome you if you like caffeine or decaf, if you like drumsticks or all flats. We welcome you if you're succeeding or struggling or faulting or flying. We welcome those with problems and solutions. We welcome you if you're retired or simply just tired. We welcome you if you're the life of the party or simply just a homebody. If you can challenge yourself and make mistakes. We welcome you near and far. We welcome who you are. We welcome you from the start. We welcome you to the church in Ocean Park.
What a beautiful welcome. Thank you, Waverly. Thank you, Waverly. I hope you all feel welcome now. I'm Janet Gollery McKeithen. I'm the minister here at the church in Ocean Park, and I also welcome you here. We are a multi-faith community dedicated to social justice, so you may hear something from somebody that you disagree with, that you don't quite believe what they just said. It might even be a speaker. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that that's what we believe as a church. Your voice is just as important as whoever it was that just spoke. If it's your first time, if you've been here for a long time, it doesn't matter. Your voice is just as important. I know this morning there's a lot of folks that have some things that are heavy on our hearts with the new developments in the Middle East. But there's always some things that we come with and we carry as we go forward. And so that means different things to different people, and we recognize that as well. So we carry that, and we carry also personal things. And so I want to acknowledge some of the things that we are bringing with us this morning. If you want to just shout it out, some things that you're bringing with you that, good morning, that you are carrying this morning with you. What are some of the things that are heavy on your heart? We want to hold them as a community this morning. What's that?
Working on my thesis.
You're working on your thesis, right?
The Middle East.
Middle East.
O.J. Simpson's death.
Right. O.J. Simpson. What are some other things you're carrying with you?
Or could be the same. Could be the same.
The same. Yeah.
It could be the same as what anybody else said.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. You don't have to have a new, unique idea. Yeah. Celebrate Jean's birthday. That's great. Feeding the hungry and the malnourished. My mom just went in the hospital.
Thinking about the people who are unsheltered that are having to deal with the climate.
Right? The unsheltered in the rain. I'm joyful about the people who are spending the night at the church this weekend. They're a group of activists around climate change and training, and so it's been wonderful to get to know them.
Our sound bath today.
The sound bath that's going to be today. You'll hear more about that if you haven't already heard that.
My mom's health.
Your mom's health.
I am joyful and relieved that I got a letter from my comrade Hamza in Gaza this morning.
Beautiful.
In Rafah.
Thank you. Well, we carry all of this, and I know there's a lot that's unsaid, but we want you to know that the joys and the sorrows and stuff, we all come together in a community, and we can hold it all here. And that's what a community is for. And so we hope that even though you brought all of that with you, that you can still be here and be able to experience this new place and this new time together. We want to begin by acknowledging that we are currently sitting on stolen land. Right here under our feet, the land was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. settler colonialism. We acknowledge that our communities and country was built on the backs of people who were stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal, but are actually systemically hurting people. We all have biases, and it takes intentionality to build compassion for people whose lives are different from ours. We seek here at the Church in Ocean Park to work together across boundaries to tear down unjust systems and build new walls of healing and love. Thank you for being a part of this community. I do want to point out that there are some blocks available for anybody who wants to play with the blocks and the Legos. They're between rows 1 and 3 and the right-hand side. And if you'd like to play there, or you can go down, Hurley Jim will take anybody downstairs who would like to go play as well. Hurley Jim, will you raise your hand? So if anybody wants to go play, you can do that with him. Yeah, and he plays blocks with you if you'd like. We center ourselves each week with a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, 3 times. Take a deep breath. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Welcome to the Church in Ocean Park. We're glad you're here.
Hi and good morning. It's good to see you. Good to be back. I was gone last Sunday. I don't know why this song came to me today, but it did. So I will sing this song from the 60s that I like somehow. You take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you load it on the water, oh, 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 Hannah. Try that with me. You take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you throw it in the water, oh, you travel on the river, you travel on the river, you travel on the river, you travel on the water, the river, she come down, the river, she come down. Your home's across the river, your home's across the river, your home's across the river, your home's across the water. a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you throw it in the water. Oh, oh, and the river, she come down. River, she come down. River, she come down. Thank you.
This is an exciting morning, everyone. It's Poetry Sunday. Yes. Poetry Sunday. And we have amazing, it's always, the thing about Poetry Sunday is it's always hard to decide which poets. You know, there are a plethora of poets, and we know them, and so half of them are right here in the room. So if you are not a poet, if you are a poet and you're not speaking today, I'm really sorry, but otherwise we could do poet marathon. That would be kind of cool. just be open and have the mic here all the time. Maybe we should do that. Have like overnight poetry. But today we're not doing that. Today we're just having 6 poets. It was hard to limit it even to 6. And I'm going to introduce them 3 at a time. But I'm not going to introduce them with their bios because then it wouldn't be time for them to speak. So you know most of these folks anyways. Fred Whitlock is going to be in the first group. Fred is our resident poet and lay leader here also. Julie Webster is here. She is a friend of Frank Durrell, and a friend of Frank Durrell is a friend of mine. And I met her the first time at Frank's mother's memorial service. And so she's back with us. We're happy. And Waverly Nebedum is, you know, Waverly, and she's on the screen. She'll be on screen with her poem. And then I'll introduce the other 3. So the first one is Fred Whitlock.
Some of my poems lately have been about emotional moments or moments when you're out of touch with yourself. I'll read 3 short pieces. Confusion, confronted, appreciation difficult, thoughts flying like a flock of birds unable to find their way home. My mind, an empty nest. Off balance. My thoughts washed out to sea. The tide turns against me. Losing a grip on what words I want to use. I misunderstand myself. My capacity to hang on to clarity is disrupted. Distortion sweeps in. Unable to feel the throb of my pulse or the beat of my heart. Mistakes are made. Logic crawls home, a moment too late. In full pursuit of my dignity, will take time to catch up to it. Emotions. Emotions arrive. A Ferris wheel spinning, but never rolling anywhere. A code to decipher. Awareness and release. Patterns finally understood. To feel is a gift. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. This poem somehow found its way to the activist newspaper Chain Links. I didn't send it to them. I sent it out to a few friends, but I was so surprised when I saw it in, I think it's the March last month's edition. It's called Child of War. No laughter, no joy, not even smiles. Hard to feel anything. I've walked for miles.
I don't even recognize this town where I'm from. The buildings now rubble, every last one. The colors are gone, I only see gray, not even sure if it's night or day. I've lost my way, I need some sleep. No shoes to protect my swollen feet. Where am I going? I follow the crowd. I'm afraid to speak or talk out loud. Walking along, everyone in file, but not for long, not even a mile, when we heard a loud sound, thunder and boom. We all disperse and wait for doom. No place to go to, no place to hide, constantly fearing the other side. Crouching behind whatever's close by, the sound I now hear is children who cry. Bombs hit nearby. Know how I can tell? It's not just the sound, but the fireworks smell. Then a long silence before moans, whines, and wails. Now I hear groans. Where am I? They've destroyed our city. Who will come to help and to pity? I had a family, now they're gone. They died all at once. Where do I belong? Why do they hate me? What did I do? Is it my fault? I haven't a clue. Is anyone coming to my aid? Alone and hopeless, I'm really afraid. Does the rest of the world even care if I live or I die? Is this rare? How do I go forward to have a good life after so much pain and so much strife? Can I feel love when so torn apart? And will I be able to express my own art? What will my book look like? What will I give to the world who ignored me, then expected me to live? How will I ever make my own way? Who will I turn to know how to say what I don't even know, like how to feel when this new life doesn't feel real? Will I go forward or accept a worse fate when I'm full of sadness, despair, and hate? The world won't forget this shameless history. Why humans allow this is one big mystery. Not even animals are so cruel and so mean to carry out the atrocities that we have seen. We're worse than creatures, not humans, we say, going downhill fast into decay. Our world will not last with this kind of fear. What we know as our world will soon disappear.
Is it me? Yes. Okay. Mine is about communication. So communication is key. I'm lost. Communication is supposed to be key, but I'm constantly calling a locksmith to change the locks after not receiving any. I've been losing the key to me. When you open the door to your emotions that are normally fully locked, you tend to get robbed. Either by a stranger that comes into your life randomly or someone familiar that you open the door for but won't come inside. I've now started to switch things. All of my emotions and feelings are now in a storage facility, month to month. Whether the fee is positive or negative, I have to pay. I have a key and a unit where I can stuff all of me inside, and only I know where it is. But there will always be complications. What if I forget to finance the monthly charges? What if I can't even pay? What if I lose my key on my own when no one else has the same key to help me? What if the locksmiths try to help me make a new key, don't speak my language? What if they are tired of making key after key for me? What if I run out of keys completely? What if I lose the key to me? I know I'm locked, but it would be nice to be free.
thank you all three. We're all incredible poets. We take a little pause in between. We have three more amazing poets. We have, the next three will be Craig Ali, Marty Liboff, and Ron Dowell. All three have been with us before. And I would like them to, if they want to say where their publications have been published, that would be great. So come on up. The first one is Craig. Come on up, Craig, and then Marty, and then Ron.
Thank you so much. This piece, well, both of these pieces are dedicated to the spirit and the welcoming and the culture from the church in Ocean Park. The intimacy and the love of the culture. And this first piece is from somebody who I've known for quite some time, entitled World Music, Kamal Daoud. 1,000 saxophones, 700 kotos, 11 machetes dripping sugar cane, 300 violins, 650 bagpipes, fresh cut bamboo screaming 9,000 birds in prayer, 200 mechanics, grease buried beneath short fingernails, 800 sitars, 7 10-foot gongs, 1 million tearless children in Ethiopia, 300 hammers, 200 saws, 10 holy men in subways, 12 divine mothers in wash houses, 1,500 shovels in South African mines, 49 choras and 17 ballophones, 7,003 assorted drums, 7,002 assorted hearts, 50 steel drums, 10,000 midwives carrying fresh fruit, 70 purple banjos, 500,000 Muslims chanting Quran, 6,000 birds of paradise, 100 golden fishermen's nets, 3,000 silkworms, 8,000 waterfalls, 7 trillion, 10 billion, 601 million, 204 tubas, and 1 black chopstick. This next one is from the Harlem Renaissance, and it's a classic Harlem Sweeties, Langston Hughes. Have you dug the spill of Sugar Hill? Cast your guineas on this sepia thrill. Brown sugar lassie, caramel sweet, honey gold baby, sweet enough to eat. Peach skin girly, coffee and cream, chocolate darling, out of a dream. Walnut tinted or cocoa brown, pomegranate lip, pride of the town. Rich cream color to a plum tinted black, feminine sweetness in Harlem's no lack. Glow of the quince to blush of the rose, persimmon bronze, the cinnamon toes. Blackberry cordial, Virginia dare wine, all those sweet colors have Harlem of mine. Walnut or cocoa, let me repeat, caramel brown sugar, a chocolate treat. Molasses, taffy, coffee, cream, licorice, clove, cinnamon to a honey brown dream, ginger, wine gold, persimmon, blackberry, all through the spectrum, Harlem girls vary. So, if you wanna know beauties, rainbow sweet thrill, stroll down luscious, delicious, fine Sugar Hill.
This was in the beachhead back in December, after all these wars all over the world were been going on. It's a real happy poem. You'll love it in the beginning. Blood, 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 running down the street. Body pieces, heads, arms, feet. Wars everywhere. The stench of death in the air. Satan laughs with glee. Can't anyone see? Our world is in a mess. What will be is anyone's guess. When the four horsemen ride, there'll be nowhere to hide. In wars, we all die. Men, women, and children cry. Death, death, death. So many, their last breath. Bombs falling on your head. So many hurt and dead. We're falling into the pits of hell. Dead bodies rot and smell. Hate, hate, hate. Is it too late? Children taught hate and lies. You teach hate and everyone dies. Anger, revenge, madness. It will only end in sadness. When warmongers rant and rave, we'll all be buried in our grave. Propaganda and lies, and everyone dies. A military-industrial complex pit wasting our wealth on shit. Tribalism, nationalism, racism, capitalism, socialism, communism. So many isms and schisms leads to a cataclysm. Muslims hate Christians, Catholics hate Lutherans, Buddhists hate Hindus, and everyone hates Jews. War, 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 what is it for? The terrors and demons of war. Hate, greed, jealousy, settle a score. Ancient hatreds from the past keep us from a peace that will last. We are in for dark times ahead. H-bombs, diseases, and billions dead. The stench of death in the air. Nobody seems to care. We live in our delusions, lost in illusions, creating our confusions, making wars and revolutions. The beast nature in humanity drives us into a bloodlust insanity. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," but to some, it's a big thrill. Their greatest fun is shooting a gun. Wars only bring death and pain, blood running down like rain. We fight over an inch of dirt while babies are raped, die, and hurt. Our universe and souls are infinite, yet we believe an inch of land is it. We blame this one and that. It breeds hate, and it's not where it's at. Try to see all sides. Somewhere there the truth abides. Understand what others see and hear, what they dream and fear. Be aware, brave, and bold. Break free of what you've been taught and told. The basis of all religions is love, a great spirit inside us and above. Roses are not all the same, different color, shape, and name, but we see that each has their own beauty. There's beauty in all of us, so why all the stupid fuss? We're all one family tree, together in one big family. Wars are fought in our heart. Try peace and love for a start. Try compassion today, and love, love, love is the way.
Good morning. And on behalf of the 5 poets that read before me, welcome to National Poetry Month. Sometimes singers can make a song their own. For example, the song I'll Always Love You was written and performed by Dolly Parton, but it was Whitney Houston who claimed it. Another song called Home is Where the Hatred Is was written by Gil Scott-Heron, but Esther Phillips in 1971 owned it. When I heard that record back then, I could relate to it because I could tell immediately that she had lived that life. And at that point, it resonated with me because I was living that life. April is also Gil Scott-Heron's birthday. He was born on April 1st, so I have a dual reason for celebrating April. And this is my story, at least part of it. It's called Mi Vida Loca, My Crazy Life. I met Gil when Esther sang, "Junkie walking through the twilight, I'm on my way home." I played it till the needle turned black vinyl white. Home is where the hatred is. Home is filled with pain. I ran through fairyland and hail and hurricane rain. The anthem all dope fiends like me know and understand. It may not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. There's no place I did not wander, no street I would not roam. There was always something not to like about home that strangled my mind and kept me on a quest for a chemical to ease my pain and relax my chest. Junkie walking through the twilight, from a whisper to a scream, going in circle where nothing's ever quite what it seems. See that black boy over there running scared. Sirens blare, red lights flash, tires screech, handcuffs snared. A bozo clown smiled, thievery and deceit, a shoplifted fate. All in and every day, like a scurrying rat, always on the take. Mood swings like a clock pendulum. The 3-day binge stink. I tell lies with a straight face, and my pink eyes never blink. 3-month run, selfish, stealing from everyone, anything. I hawk my daddy's tools and my mama's wedding ring. You keep saying, kick it, quit it, Lord, but did you ever try? Grief is a stranger with no map. Lost, I could have died. Mi vida loca, sleepwalking on the wicked side of strife. It's a good thing that I met him. Gil Scott saved my life. That was a revelation. This is the process. It's from my book, Watch Uprise. It's called Breaking Point. We'll all arrive except the unmindful, sacrifices to hawks, cats, and humans. Don't overthink, wing the soar, bird's eye view. We've flown in tight formation, sparrows gliding on warm southern breezes for days. Our leader's intelligence secure and power plumed. She migrates to nest and we follow her flow. Our journey is long, my flight blind. Safety in numbers vexes, frustrates destruction. But, always but for a brooding bird, what choice lies east, hissing woods or crackling fire? Our sparrows west, praying owls shadow us, track our aerial tradition. I hear a Shakespeare sing of whippoorwills, him sounding so lonesome I weep like dried-eyed doves. I break rank and stiffen, will others follow? I'm never alone without the constant song of our quarrel, without crumbs, the worms from our hunters, without the comfort of our flock. What lies outside us torments my familiar. Songbirds that stray don't return to chirp, of separation's claim, what it means to left turn right when flight direction points south. I blink slowly at changing winds. When my eyes reopen, I'm ocean bound. Thank you.
Thank you to all 6 poets. Let's give them a round of applause. I don't know about you, but they've all touched a place in me, different ones of them. I would like to all of us to think about these 6 poets and what they just read to us, one by one. Fred Whitlock, Julie Webster, Waverly Nebedum, Craig Ali, Marty Liboff, and Ron Dowell. What part of you did they all touch? What part of you? We'll do this after the song. But think about that. Like, what part of you did each one touch? Because we're all complex human beings. And what poetry does a lot of times is it touches a different place. And it could touch something else. If they got back up and read the same exact thing, it could touch a different part of us.
This song is based, I've sang it once before, but it's based on an old folk song that some of you may have heard, but the gentleman who changed the words did it because he was thinking about how to speak to his child about war. So that's what this is about. And sing along if you like. I love that. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Deep blue sea, baby, deep blue sea. Now there's peace in all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Sleep, my child, you are safe and sound. Sleep, my child, you are safe and sound. Sleep, my child, you are safe and sound. Now there's peace in all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Just yesterday, war clouds hung so low. Just yesterday, war clouds hung so low. Just yesterday, war clouds hung so low. Now there's peace in all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Love of life finally turned the tide. Love of life finally turned the tide. Love of life finally turned the tide. Now there's peace in all the land and o'er the deep blue sea. Now there's peace in all the land and o'er the deep blue sea.
Now it's time for community sharing. And this is a time when you get to say a few words or ask a question. And I think Linda wants to say something.
And I want to do it, and I'm sorry to just like jump up because I need to leave and take Fred to the airport. Otherwise, I would be more patient and listen to everybody else, but there's only so much I can do. And I was deeply affected by, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but by your poem. Yes. And I want to read a passage from the letter that I got this morning from my comrade Hamza in Gaza. I want to tell you about the story of a 5-year-old girl. Layla was found buried under rubble. Her apartment building collapsed, killing many. In Gaza, the masses rushed to save people after such attacks. They have learned these rescue skills from decades of IDF bombardments. After 2 nights in the collapsed building, people heard faint noises. They realized a girl was trapped. It took hours before Layla was extricated. She was dizzy, disoriented, and dehydrated. There was a deep shrapnel wound on her leg. In Rafah, we get 1 meal every other day and a liter of water that lasts several days. When Layla was found alive, kids and adults lined up to donate water to wash her. People skipped their portion of meals so that she would not go hungry or thirsty. Somebody treated her injured leg. Layla was smiling with the nurturing love of humanity. Layla became an orphan. She lost 26 members of her family in the airstrike. The community adopted her. This is the story of thousands of children like Layla. Many children like Layla will grow up. They have survived by the collective strength of the masses. Nobody made a profit by giving them food or water or healing their injury. Society organized to eliminate profit and capitalism. Society organized to eliminate profit and capitalism is the only system that can survive. These are the lessons I am learning from people around me.
Thank you, Linda. Anybody else?
I wanted to respond to Waverly's poem. Waverly, you spoke so, your metaphor of losing track of yourself, losing contact with yourself was very powerful and affected me. There's, it's so interesting, that process of when we feel good about ourselves, when our lives are not chaotic, and then all of a sudden something happens. It can be internal, it can be external, it can be both. And all of a sudden there's that, I love the metaphor of the slippery slope, because you feel like you're starting to slide away from yourself, and then it increases in velocity. You slide faster and faster, and the faster and the harder that you work at grabbing yourself, the more chaos there is. And your poem just said all of that, and I wanted to thank you for your poem.
Absolutely beautiful, Waverly. Oh, Joe.
Yeah, really. Each of the poets brought a lot of different things to me, and it sort of starts at the end when Ron says we will all arrive except the sort of the unconscious. And Waverly, for me, reminded me of the blockage to get there, right? That you lose the key so easily if you're not unconscious, if you're not doing those practices that people talk about in here. Meditation. I heard there's something about a sound bath today. And it's like, how do you access that? And then we talk about war, and a lot of the poetry is also the war inside of us. And so, I grew up in a military family. You don't do a lot of poetry in military families that unlock, because what you may unlock is pain. And my father was trained that if he cared about his best friend from college, 1,000 troops can die. And so that's a pretty much, you create the lock there, you create a barrier. And so that's the power of the poetry. And it's so important for us to hear the words spoken by poets and people sharing the poets. And so I'm just really thankful for each of the poets for stirring the stuff up. Is that what you're supposed to do? Stir stuff up? And so, yeah, I'm starting to sound like Bob Marley, but stir it up, right? And thank you all.
We get Abby.
Poetry is not always something I can comprehend very well, but what I sense this morning is that poetry allows people to be vulnerable and to express what's going on in a way that's not in a form strictly as a narrative. And as I was listening to Louise sing the song about the father explaining war to his child, to me that is also another form of poetry, and I'm very grateful to have heard all of this. So thank you.
I think Abby is online, wants to share.
Yeah, there's two different ones. I'm not sure which one. Well, I'll pick the one about war. I really wanted some adult to explain war to me. I was born in 1940, so I didn't know a life without war until I was about 5 or 6. And we were told that if we didn't keep our lights off and hide, the Germans would find us. Hitler would come and get us. And we had mosquito net that we had to sleep with because we couldn't. The mosquito abatement required oil, and all the soldiers needed our oil. I just remember several nights just saying, I don't understand all of this. I don't know who Hitler is, and I don't even know that I don't like him. What is all this about? And then it got worse when I was 5, and we dropped the atomic bomb. Anyway, it was good to hear that song about war. It helps the 3-year-old me.
Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Abby. There's an here. Yeah, Marilyn.
I'm not going to add anything about the war poems, although they touched me. But I wanted to say, when Fred Whitlock was up there and talking about confusion and anxiety, losing words, things like that, I really related to that, because as I've gotten older, I get more distracted by Facebook and being online. And if I want to do something, a pop-up comes and I go, oh, well, let me do that first. Then I forget what I was doing. So I get sidetracked so easily, and it's scary to me because it's hard to stay focused. And I appreciated that poem. Thank you, Fred.
Well, with Earth Day coming up, I must say that every one of the poets touched me in their own unique way, and I have to admire how powerful poetry is, and music, which is poetry, or a sermon, or a talk, can be poetic. So we need to put that poetry in our lives. I was thinking that, I think Marty said it, there was something about communism, capitalism, this and that. And that kind of touches me, because I feel it's more the the greed and the repression under any system that's kind of messing things up. And I'm worried, especially now. And I remember how Einstein said World War IV is likely to be fought with sticks and stones. And so I'm kind of worried, but I would like to just give you my quick little Earth Day ditty, my non-poetic poem. Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and Mother Earth is too. That's it.
Here you go.
And being one of the ones who did it, I tried to feel what I was doing. But to Julie, the woman who's read before me, and to Marty, the man who read behind me, I could feel the sense of intolerance and the need to correct that. Because if we don't tolerate each other, then what do we have? And that was further driven home by Louise and Kim in reference to not just what we are, but what we can be in reference to the oneness.
Well, I just want to express my appreciation to Craig and to Langston Hughes. The two of you together, I just love the exuberance that both of those poems expressed, and I think that's something I wanted to be sure that got appreciated, because we need that. We need that, especially in the midst of all the troubles. Thank you.
Anybody else online? All right. There is. Oh, Chaplain Joseph. Now here you go. Can you go closer? Can you go?
You hear me?
Can you sit? Ask him to sit closer. He can't hear me.
We can't hear you. Sit closer to your mic or louder.
Yeah, I'm talking.
He's got headphones on.
Can't hear me?
Try taking off the headphones. Ask him to take his headphones off.
What about your headphones? Is that where the mic is? Where's the mic in the headphones?
Is that better?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay. All right. I just thought that the word that came to me during all the poems was bereavement, and that we are sometimes in pain of our own bereavement. We are bereaved because we are not what we are, and not what we hope to be. We are bereaved because of the condition of the world, political and social and otherwise. And so this sort of bereavement came out in most of them, I think. But there was joy in the bereavement because there is the belief that we'll be able to overcome and to be able to endure what we are facing today, whether it is in war, whether it is war in our own personal selves. We believe that there is hope that we can overcome it. And so there's that joy that that is there as well. I particularly liked Waverly's welcome. The welcome was poetic, and it sort of blended into her own poem that she did. I thought it was extremely good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chaplain Joseph. Thank you so much. All right, so you can see this wonderful sharing is also a part of the sermon this morning. So we have many sermons and messages this morning, and I hope that you'll take some of these home with you. And we'll have a moment of silence and then video. And then there's a video on the screen. That's why we're all facing this way today. You might have wondered that when you got in, but now you'll find out.
Well, I think that write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh. As if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance? As if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.